wanted to talk a little bit about, the fake E3 or Key 3 or whatever it was this week.
Yeah.
By the way, your video on for the Street Fighter 6 was actually pretty great. Like the whole dialogue back and forth, and it was very clear, like you were hitting them with questions that they were just not ready for, which was really good. But yeah, we didn't get a lot to talk about. We didn't get a lot of chances to talk about Street Fighter 6. Did you like how did you feel about the game? Did you like it?
Oh yeah, I really liked what I played. I was kind of disenchanted with the series after Street Fighter Five, mainly because like they put out like 6 gazillion different copies, like Street Fighter Five, Super Street Fighter, Super over 9
Yeah.
five, and no version. At no point in any of those iterations did they ever fix the online. And you know what the crazy part is? From my understanding, people were telling me that Street Fighter Five had rollback netcode, but they programmed it incorrectly. So I mean, I could argue it didn't have it, but supposedly it did have it. So like, I was kind of disenchanted with the franchise. But six, I'm feeling good about six. That build we played, you got to take it with a grain of salt because
Yeah.
it's a vertical slice, but it was very polished. It only had 4 characters in it. Um, I'm liking the new drive gauge and having to they give you all your power kind of like up front and you have to manage it throughout the fight. And that's pretty cool because if you burn through that meter really quickly, you can get caught with your pants down without the
I thought
power.
that was sick. Yeah, I thought that was a sick mechanic. It was one that like I wasn't expecting. Because is there another? Do they do that like in Guilty Gear, or was that just like completely new? Because I don't recall, but like off the top of my head at
I,
least.
I haven't seen that before. Like in other Street Fighters, if I recall correctly, you got that meter from when like you block or like you do damage. It would build
Yeah,
up over
yeah.
time, but like they just give you all the power up front, and it's like, hey, now you got to manage it. And then what also kind of threw me off about the game, they didn't like say it in any of like the press releases, or at least I didn't see it. Maybe I missed it. But like that counter system from Third Strike, it's in the game. And
Mm.
the only reason I know is because Danny, our producer, one of our producers, he ended up doing it to me. I don't know if you saw, but he showed up to the Summer Games Fest with a fight stick, and this man, it was wild, bro. They didn't get it on camera. They muted the audio, of course, because they want to make me look bad. But this man pulled up the Summer Games Fest. This man pulled a fucking fight stick out his asshole, his anal cavity. I said, "What the hell, dude?" I said, "Where did you get that from?"
He smuggled it in the front door.
This man started shouting out fucking gamer tag radio, Xbox, because he's like Xbox drone or something. And then he just starts slapping. He starts beating the shit out of that stick, dude. That damn gamepad. And he
I
did the
wish
little
I gotta invite Danny in here. I gotta invite
yeah.
Danny.
We gonna put him on trial too. Yeah, I'm on everybody. What's the name? He started beating
Oh,
the hell out that stick, bro. And he did the little counter move to me. And then, first of all, I was like, how the fuck did you know how to do that? And the game ain't even out. I don't know if he read it on the website or something, but he did that counter. It might have been by accident, but he ended up beating my ass because he knew how to do that little counter thing. And I was like, oh, okay, this game is gonna have some layers to it. So like, I fully expect to see more kind of like high level tournament moments, kind of like that, the classic Daigo moment from Evo.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You were just getting you got Evo moment on where he just hit you with the parry
Yeah,
a bunch of times.
yeah. I'm like, dude, it's Summer Games Fest. Fucking relax. God damn, what a
No,
dweeb.
but did you see like Maximilian dude was right there? Like all the FGC guys like rolled up and they literally just huddled in that one corner and they just went over stuff. It was actually really dope to watch though. Like the way that they were breaking down the game with just 4 characters, like that was sick. Like Jamie, I got to play Jamie a ton. And that was I did not expect to have that much fun playing that character because I typically like just stick with Ryu and Ken. Like I play Shoto characters and I'm kind of just cool with that. But I really was like, you know what? Let's screw it. I'm here. I'm playing by myself. Let me just go ahead and test around. And then thankfully, I don't have to worry about someone rolling up with no, fight stick, just to beat my ass up, because that would have just sucked. But what did you get a chance to play the Formula One game at all,
Nah, I'm not into all that racing shit. I have a driver's license.
dude?
Yeah, I'm like,
Well, okay. One, yes, I don't have a driver's license, but two, dude, in VR, that thing was wild. That was like a genuinely really fun experience, and it was something I realized I will never own.
what's
Because like I
how
just
much?
no way I'm ever gonna have a chair like that.
How much do those setups cost?
I don't know. Let me look, but like I'm pretty sure it's like 2-3 grand to like get like a full driving game setup. Like I don't know what they were rolling with, like when they were doing a lot of those like Formula One or not Formula One, but those like esports Formula One races that you would have for like during the pandemic. Like I don't know. Like I'm looking right now and There's some racing wheels, like, it depends. Oh, actually, there's this Next Level Racing FGT Simulator Cockpit that's $500 on Amazon, but I would imagine that that is not what I was using. I was using Fanatec gear, which is, like, way more expensive.
I
So
never understood like racing sims like that because like to me it's just like going in circles. The only time I've ever kind of enjoyed a racing sim is I do enjoy like some of the NASCAR games only because I get to like troll little racist hillbillies. I like to make a custom car and put like black power on the bumper so it pisses them off. Uh, but because that should be having voice chat or put like Black Lives Matter on the back of the car to piss them off. But like in terms of like F1, like what about it speaks to you?
well, Formula One, I don't know what it is, man. It's like, well, I watched that Netflix series, Drive to Survive, and it was like watching a grown ass person anime, but like in real life, where like there's all this drama, and it's just fascinating because these people exist in their world, and they don't do anything else. Like all the things that they do has like barely any impact on the real world, but they're spending millions of dollars on these cars to make them into these powerhouses on the track. And bro, it is just unreal, like how fast these vehicles go. And like, and granted, it's the driver, it's the engine, it's all this other stuff, but there's just like this drama behind it that's fun. So I guess that's why I kind of prefer like the F1 manager games, maybe a little bit more than F1 2022, because you get to do all the the wild stuff that you normally wouldn't really get to do in just like a flat out racing game. But it was still fun to play because I played it in VR, which was really sick. So I thought that part was actually like surprisingly fun, because I thought I was going to get a little nauseous because it's VR, and you sit with it after a little while, you think to yourself like, oh man, like this is definitely giving me a headache. But nah, it was great. It was very active. The movement was fine, like, and also the people that were there were also fantastic. So yeah, no, it was great. It was great, man.
It is. It is unreal to think about like how these F1 drivers, how they deal with like these gas prices nowadays. Because like I would have running through gas like crazy, and gas is like $7 in freaking LA right now. So it's like,
I
bro.
don't think the F1 drivers deal with the gas, Corey. I'm not too sure. I don't think that.
Oh, when it runs on imagination. Oh,
No, the F1 drivers don't worry about the gas. They're not like in the track, like pulling up to the pump, and they're like, oh man, can't fill up the pump right now. Looks like I can't do this race. That's not happening. They got plenty of gas. They have plenty of gas. But anyway, moving on though.
no, I think the highlight for Summer Games Fest for me was the Sonic Frontiers booth. Uh, and
The
not even
booth.
not
The
because
booth.
yeah, the booth, not even the game. Just to clarify for the people listening, the Sonic Frontiers booth at Summer Games Fest was just this whole mysterious thing. Nobody even knew that game was gonna be there. But then, like, I tried to pull up and play because they had 4 TVs set up like in a square format with these big couches, and like each couch could, well, not big, but each chair could like couch could fit 2 people a piece. So there could be
Yeah.
6 people playing Sonic Frontiers right there if you do the math, right? But freaking they didn't allow anybody, which by the way my math is off, but I was like, they wouldn't allow anybody to do any freaking thing there. I pulled up and I was like, can I play? And they was like, nah, we're all booked up.
Yeah, because they were all empty. All the chairs were empty. It's like, yo, can I just like run around for like 5 minutes? Like act like it's not gonna be that big of a deal if I just like hold a controller for a little bit and then drop it when someone for their appointment comes. Like, I don't know.
it
I just
was
thought that was
it
funny.
was it was it was hard to take the bodyguard seriously though, because dude pulled up in this bright like Willy Wonka blue shirt. Like, you remember the girl that turned into the blueberry and shit? Like, he was that color of blue. He pulled up with the jeans, and then he had the Sonic shoes on. What are those, like Reeboks or like Adidas or something? Like, the custom.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, those were really nice. So I'm not gonna front. I
Man,
really like those things.
man, pulled
I
up
like them. I don't know. I like anything Sonic. I'm cool with it. But yeah, go on, go on.
like, this man, he pulled up over here, he's ready to knock the rings out of my ass, bro. I was like, no, I got to play the damn game.
Well, the best was when Danny, he was like taking a video of the venue, and just doing like a casual twist around video showing off the venue, and then you could see the Sonic person when he panned over to the Sonic booth waving their hands up and down, like preventing him from seeing any. It was like something out of like a Benny Hill like segment, or like some comedy skit. It was so absurd. They're just jumping around all over the place, and it's like, bro, you're the one who decided to show this game off in the middle of a public crowd. Like, granted, everyone there was media, and yes, everyone there like was, a professional, but like, don't act like this was just some normal thing, and they like expecting us like not to talk about the game. Like, I tweeted about the game, and then Sonic's Twitter, which by the way did not know it was a thing, but I was completely oblivious to it, and they were just losing their mind because I said that the game was smooth. And then at that point, it was like, okay, I guess I have to play because like 1,000 people just responded to this message demanding that I play this freaking game.
Yeah,
Uh,
the the,
but
Se-
yeah,
the Sega bouncers were acting like Sonic was like some salmon with honey all over it, and everybody in the press was a bunch of grizzly bears walking around. I'm like, bro, chill. It's
it
not.
was so funny. It was so funny, man. That was great though. Like, honestly, Summer Games Fest. I want more events like that. Like, I like E3. I like, the pomp and all the crazy booths and stuff like that at E3. And I would like to think that there's a place where E3 can exist, but I really liked what Jeff Keighley did with Summer Games Fest. Like, it was real simple. You got there, you played your games, you got out. I don't know. I enjoyed it. What about you?
I'd say don't be fooled, listeners, by GB. This guy is a fucking sellout. He's just happy. We
Wow.
got we got free lunch. Daddy Jeff Kelly gave us a little meal ticket, a meal voucher, and we
Oh,
got
lunch was great, dude.
exactly. So that's why he thinks it's better than E3. He got a free meal. That's a
No, I like them for both for different reasons though. Like, I like Summer Games Fest because I could just go, like, it was real simple. I could just like sit down, watch a game, right? Or sit down and play a game. And there was like no craziness involved with actually like getting to the booth. Like, obviously, like the Sonic booth aside, like everything else was like pretty chill. But
I know.
in E3, you just have so much going on. It's like a sensory overload,
Yeah, I'm just fucking with you. It was cool. Like
pain in the ass.
I think absolutely every day. I think to improve on that though is like it would have been cool if they would have had like multiple rooms the same size as that one, maybe like three.
That's true.
So then
That's
you
true.
or because like within like an hour and a half, I felt like I saw everything I needed to see, and we were just kind of waiting for our interviews at Summer Games Fest. And then after
That's
that
true.
came like socializing with people. And it's like, I don't mind that, but like at the end of the day, my social battery was like gone because like it was just like a lot of conversations. I was just like, bruh, you don't care what I have to say. You guys are just
Yeah.
because I know GB. This guy's super famous, so
Yeah, definitely not. But based on so I asked you earlier, you wanted to talk about me messing up a joke about you not beating a boss in Elden Ring, but I do want to get your thoughts on the Square Enix one, man. What'd you think?
the only thing I saw that they announced because I haven't actually looked at the stuff. The only thing I saw on social media they announced was like, is it an expansion to the Final Fantasy VII remake with Zach?
Oh, yeah, actually, that's a good. Oh man,
I
Alchemist
know what
actually
it
was just
was.
talking about it.
It looked
Um,
cool, but I just didn't understand what it was. Is it?
so there were a few things announced. There was the Crisis Core, which is like a remake of the original Crisis Core game on PSP. Then there was Rebirth, which is the sequel to the Final Fantasy VII remake. So technically, like the second disc. And then they are doing a revision, I guess, of the original Final Fantasy game with better in combat visuals. And that is going to be for the iOS and Android and like the mobile platforms and stuff. So it looks good, and I'm excited for it. But yeah, it was actually like a pretty sick presentation. Like, they just went game, game, game. They were really quick. I feel like, kind of like a runner up for best in the category, because they were just giving you what you wanted, which was just games, games, and games.
How are they changing the gameplay mechanics on these kind of remakes that they're making? Because truthfully, like I don't really have much of like a connection to Final Fantasy. I wasn't a big fan just because like the stories changed in like the earlier editions from game to game, but like the gameplay never evolved enough for me to
Mm,
care. So like I would skip around to like various ones. So it's like I'm not like super in love with. In my opinion, Legend of Dragoon is the greatest RPG of all time, and mainly because
bruh,
that turn-based combat was actually engaging. So like yeah, I don't really have like
so good.
the Final Fantasy VII remake was actually the first time I ever played Final Fantasy VII, which I loved, by the way. I love that remake. I'm looking forward to part two. I just don't understand what that Zack shit is.
Yeah. I don't know. It was cool. And by the way, I totally lost my blue stacks, which is super funny. So now I have no idea how to control the chat room.
Guys,
Oh
this is why you don't
Lord.
host the Twitter Spaces on Android phones. I told
It
y'all
really is. It
this.
really
Uh, this man, them Android batteries be blowing up on planes and shit. You just blew up the damn Twitter Spaces. This is
I
ridiculous.
know.